This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, we got some breaking news out of the great state of Indiana. As everybody knows, we have been covering the redistricting saga very closely because it could decide who controls the House in 2026, because we're talking about potentially a dozen seats flipping to the Republican Party next year. And that's why it's a big deal. We're not talking about 1 or 2 seats. You're talking about 12, which, considering how close the House is right now and more than likely will be after next year, yeah, 12 seats or whatever could be the difference. And now we have Indiana Governor Mike Braun saying they will have a special session, he's officially called it, to consider a new congressional map. And he said, I am calling a special legislative session to protect Hoosiers from efforts in other states that seek to diminish their voice in Washington and ensure their representation in Congress is fair, Braun and Republicans said in a statement. So yeah, it is confirmed they will have a special session for redistricting, and this means that Indiana is the 4th Republican-controlled state to take up redistricting, according to NBC News. The first one was, of course, Texas. Everybody knows that. Then Missouri. Then Ohio, which that process in Ohio, it's a mess. That's why it's taking a while. They have to use loopholes to get around it. They're going to pass a map, though, in Ohio, but it's just going to take a little bit. And now, Indiana. Now, to be clear, this is official. There are other states that we are waiting on. Places like Kansas could maybe redraw. It's to be determined. Places like Florida, they're waiting for some Supreme Court stuff. Basically, there's a bunch of other states that more than likely will redraw. And even states like Utah, they're in the process of having to redraw the maps because the court said so. So yeah, there are a bunch of states right now in the process of redrawing. Now, there are right now 2 Democrat states that have responded. Of course, California, they're the first one. That map's going to pass. 99.9% chance is going to pass the referendum by a decent margin. But the other one is Virginia, which I've said many times before, I have some serious doubts about that. Like, at the bare minimum, even if they get everything through, there are some doubts that they can even pass it in time. So there's that, and realistically, you got to pass it twice, and then you need a referendum. You could theoretically get it through in the next year and a half, but is it likely? No. So right now, really, the only Democrat state to for sure have redistricting is California. Indiana's session is scheduled to start on November 3rd. Republicans currently control 7 of Indiana's 9 congressional districts. And those other 2 seats, you can make them Republican fairly easily. You don't have to draw a hideous map where you split these areas 15 different ways. No, it's actually a very simple process that a lot of people have done it. You could draw a 9-0 map where all the seats are like Trump plus 15, plus 20, plus 25. The White House has been applying pressure to persuade Republicans in the state to draw a new congressional map. Trump spoke with Indiana Republicans earlier this month, and Vice President J.D. Vance had made 2 trips to the state to talk redistricting with lawmakers. So yeah, the White House, they're taking this seriously in Indiana because unlike places like Texas, Missouri, those states, they got redistricting done very quickly. It was not a long process. It was very simple. It was just a matter of, hey, how should we draw these maps exactly? And that's what happened in Texas and Missouri. They got it through. But like NBC News says, but even as Braun called a special session, Indiana Republicans remain divided on the issue. And that's why President Trump and Vice President Vance, they've been forced to keep talking to these morons over and over again, because for whatever reason, despite being in like an R+20 state, you have a supermajority in both chambers, you have the Republican governor. Despite all of that, you have a bunch of Republicans going around and saying, we can't do this because we stand on principles. In fact, a spokesperson for the Indiana Republican State Senate majority told NBC News Monday morning that, quote unquote, the votes still aren't there for redistricting. You can't make this up. These people are in R+30 seats, R+40 seats, and they're divided over this. Now, I should be clear, it's not both chambers. In fact, the state house, I believe they already got the votes quite easily. And the problem is, just the state senate is filled with so many rhinos, idiots, snakes, whatever you want to call these people, and they're saying, no, we can't pass these maps because of principles or some BS like that. The divide is increasingly spilled over to public view, with Indiana Republicans firing off op-eds, social media posts, and statements about the effort, which is just pathetic. I mean, seriously. This is a Trump plus 30 state, Trump plus 25, and you're worried about principles and how the left would respond? Really? Now, like this article says, not everybody in the Indiana GOP is like this. In fact, there's plenty of state senators supporting the effort. They're saying, hell yes, we want to redraw the maps. We got to do this. In fact, the lieutenant governor, who's fantastic, he is saying that they want to redraw the maps to a point of getting all 9 congressional seats. So it's not everybody in the state senate or whatever, but it's just a sizable chunk of this conservative majority, whatever you want to call these people, they're just saying no. And this is one of the statements right here, and this should tell you everything. For those trying to bully me on redistricting, I love you. I pray to our Lord and Savior for wisdom and reflect on political heroes who stood up for the greater good above the politics of the day, said State Senator Gregory Good on X. Yeah, this is a real statement from one of these people. Oh, you're being a bully. Oh, you're being so mean. I have to reflect on this. What? Reflect on the political heroes of the day? Are you serious? He's trying to compare himself to, like, I don't know, like JFK or something. Oh, because I said no to my party. Are you serious? Trying to bully me? No, these are your voters asking you, do your damn job. I guarantee you, the vast majority of people in your district would vote you out of office right now because of this stunt. It's gonna happen. These people don't give a shit what their constituents say. It's just, no, it's principles. What? The voters want redistricting in Indiana, and you're more worried about the principled crap? Really? This type of crap is why Republicans, for years, was pathetic without Trump. It's because of crap like this. Like, seriously, you have California redrawing their maps, right? Right after Texas did. You have potentially Virginia, potentially Maryland, Illinois. Oh, but we can't be mean or whatever. It's just, what are you talking about? The people of Indiana want a new map that's like 8-1 or 9-0. But no, they have to pull this crap of no, we can't because principles. This is mentality right here. This crap is pathetic. Seriously, they're basically worried about what the opposition's going to say. They're going to call you a Nazi no matter what. Who cares? They're going to call you that no matter what you do. Say, screw you, I'm voting yes on this. But no, they can't even do that. They can't even just vote present. They have to they're being bullied? Like, what are you talking about? Your constituents asking you to do your damn job is you being bullied? Really? And standing up for the greater good. What are you talking about? What greater good? You want the Democrat Party control the House? Is that the greater good? Oh, because Republicans can't do it. Democrats been doing this shit for decades. And you can't do it because principles. It's bull crap. It's bullshit. I'm getting sick and tired of the excuses. And it sounds like Team Trump as well. They're getting sick of it as well. Look at this report from, I think, Politico. It's come out that a new political organization called Fair Maps Indiana, which is backed by some top Trump 2024 people, just launched. And Lachivita, which was a top Trump campaign person, he's leading the charge on this operation. And he said a couple weeks ago, this is where the fun begins. Because you have these morons like the state senator going around saying, no, I can't because I'm being bullied. There's other ones as well. It's pathetic. I mean, what are we doing? We need to redraw Indiana now. It should be at the bare minimum 8-1, 9-0. The fact that we have to fight tooth and nail in Indiana, which kind of makes sense. This is Mike Pence's state after all, but really? We're going to fight tooth and nail because these idiots, they're worried about what? They're worried about the opposition saying they're mean? Or like, oh, they're fascist or Nazis? They're going to call you that no matter what. So who cares what they say? Redraw the maps and call it a day. Because they're going to do it no matter what now. It doesn't matter what you say or do. They're going to do the same shit in California. They're already doing California. They're going to do it in Illinois. They're going to try. Maryland, Virginia. They're going to try some shit in Washington, which won't go anywhere, but they're trying everywhere. I mean, in fact, they're still to this day filing bullshit lawsuits in the Deep South to get free Democrat seats because of VRA. They've been doing this stuff for decades. So you're not doing it. You're not doing anything other than responding. The Democrats have been doing this for like 30, 40 years. They have been abusing this system for all these years. They gerrymandered the House for like 50 or 60 years to a point where Republicans, they couldn't get a House majority for 40 years, till like the 90s. But you're worried about principles and, oh, we can't be mean. We have to stand on the good side of history. You're going to be looked back on as pathetic by doing this. Now, what do you think is going to happen? I think at the end of the day, they're going to redraw. Will it be 9-0 or 8-1? I personally think they're going to go 8-1. Though top people in Indiana, they want 9-0. But more than likely, it's going to be 8-1 because some of these people, they're going to vote no if it's 9-0 for BS reasons. But either way, getting even one extra House seat is a big win for the GOP. They got to go through with it, though. They can't piss around. They have to get this map through ASAP. Will they? I think right now, there is a good chance they for sure get one. Is it likely they get two? I don't think so. But just getting one extra House seat, that could be the difference between a House majority or a minority. That's a huge deal. And it really counters anything that Illinois potentially does, or Maryland, or even Virginia to a point. And we don't know what's going to happen in Ohio, in places like Florida, even North Carolina, which I forgot. It's like North Carolina, they've redrawn as well, and that's extra seat there. So overall, the more you look at this, we should, the key word is should, be getting a new map in Indiana. The fact, though, we have to fight tooth and nail, it's just pathetic. This should tell you everything about the state of the GOP to this day. Not every Republican's like this, but man, you can't even redraw in a state like Indiana. Because what? The opposition would say you're mean? Okay? They've been saying that for years now. These people, it doesn't matter what you say or do, they're going to think you're a fascist no matter what. Look at Kirk. He was the one that wanted to talk with these people, and look what happened to him. And you're going to still try the same shit again and again and again. You're never going to get anywhere. This is not how you use power. You have a supermajority. Who gives a shit? It's R plus 30. They're never going to win these seats anyways, or Indiana as a whole. It's R plus 30. They're never winning it. So who cares? Who are you even appealing to? That's what I'm confused about. You're appealing to Democrats in an R plus 50 state, or R plus 20. R plus 50 seats half these people are in. It is just baffling to me that we still have to deal with this crap. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.